7. My name is Beatrice Edu. The news is also live on Kesme 107.1 FM and across the world at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Patients left stranded at the Tamale Teaching Hospital as doctors suspend emergency and other critical services following a clash between some staff and the sector minister during his surprise visit. Meanwhile, the government is presenting some critical equipment to the facility to boost healthcare delivery. We'll bring you the latest on this. Also coming up on the program, the Financial Intelligence Center tightens the news around Bernard Entry Boesiakon, popularly known as Chairman Wuntumi, as it freezes accounts linked to his companies. We'll bring you the full story shortly. Much later, President John Mahama said to launch government's free sanitary powered program this afternoon with budgetary allocation of over 292 million Ghana cedis made in 2025 budget. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Now, suspension of emergency and other critical services by the Doctors Association of the Tamale Teaching Hospital is beginning to bite hard on patients seeking healthcare services at the hospital. The doctors on Wednesday, April 23, announced the suspension of their services following an altercation between the head of the accident and emergency unit of the hospital and the health minister. The doctors are, among others, demanding an apology from Kwabena Minta Kando to the head of the accident and emergency unit, as well as provision of some basic consumables and equipment. Christopher Mwakon is my colleague at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. He'll be joining us very shortly, but a quick recap of the demands by the doctors. Now, in addition to the demand for unconditional public apologies from the health minister and MP for Tamale South, the doctors submitted a list of critical logistical and infrastructure needs to hospital management, including basic clinical supplies, that's gloves, gauge, cotton, face masks, syringes, and in disinfectants, also reliable access to water and electricity, continuous oxygen supply, essential equipment, ventilators, transport incubators, lab reagents, also repairs for autoclave machines and other vital tools, long-term upgrades such as MRI and CT scan machines, mobile X-ray systems, and ABG analyzers. Well, the health ministry seemed to have responded to the doctors. It has dispatched medical supplies for onward delivery to the Tamale Teaching Hospital following the concerns raised by the staff of the facility during the minister's unannounced visit. And Safwa Abuahene joins us with details of these supplies and really what the minister, Kwabena Minta Kando, has been saying. Safwa, just bring us up to speed on this. Hello, Safwa, can you hear me?
Yes, Beatrice, I can hear you now.
Yes, can you tell us really what the minister, what kind of items are in these supplies, and if the minister has been saying anything in addition at all?
Absolutely. So the minister came together with the newly appointed CEO of the Tamale Teaching Hospital, and about 5 medical equipment and items have been donated to the Tamale Teaching Hospital. And as Minister talked about the fact that they needed collaboration and to be able to work together, because there's been a lot of issues within the health sector for so many years, and he assured that he's the first person to have their needs at heart and will be able to care for them. And so he also appealed to the Tamale Teaching Hospital workers who have gone on strike to come back so that they can work collaboratively and and make sure that all things that have been done in the past are resolved so that things can come clean. He actually was emphasizing with the people who have gone there and rendered service to our hospitals and have lost loved ones, because he said it can happen to everyone or anyone at all at any point in time. And he even used himself as an example talking about the fact that he experienced such a thing within the Ashanti region when he had an accident, and the time he realized he was in one of the local hospitals. And so it's something that can happen to anybody. So he was really emphasizing the fact that the health workers should put behind them anything that affects the past so that they can come together and work for the best interest of Ghana, because personally Ghanaian is what they are supposed to look at. And amidst the items that were handed over to, let me just briefly mention some from the list that we have been given to.
Indeed.
I sorted a bowl with stents. I sorted ECG machine, board section, oxygen concentrator, drugger ICU ventilators, and drugger warmer. We have drugger phototherapy. There is also assorted features, drugger infants, incubators, and there is also transport ventilator. There is pipette tips. There are some that are very big names, and digital manometer, and a mixed others. So this was what has been happening at the Ministry of Health.
So far, briefly, before you go, are you able to tell us the reaction of those who received these items?
Unfortunately, only the minister who spoke, but they wanted up any other questions, and even response to the newly appointed CEO who was also present. So even though he was present at the handing over ceremony there, unfortunately, they were unable to let the CEO speak because they mentioned that he had not been unveiled out for people to see yet, and so they wanted to keep things in the carpet for the time being.
Thank you very much, Safo Abuahene. She's our reporter currently at the Health Ministry, covering that delivery of essential equipment for the Tamale Teaching Hospital. Keep an eye on this and bring you more. Again, a reminder that we'll be crossing over to Tamale Teaching Hospital very shortly, where Christopher Amakon, our correspondent, has been following the latest events unfolding in that part of the country. But ahead of that, we still stay on health, because the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health is currently in the Bono East region to assess the state of existing health facilities. The visit follows widespread report of inadequate logistics and medical supplies hampering effective healthcare delivery. The committee began its tour with a visit to the Holy Family Hospital, where they evaluated the facility's current condition, identified areas in need of improvement, and discussed strategies to address the pressing challenges. Belinda Tete is our Bono East regional correspondent. She joins us live on the phone. Belinda, are there what are some of the key challenges the committee has identified so far, if you can tell us?
Right. So the committee so far has uncovered a lot of challenges, and because the Holy Family is centrally located, it offers referrals to not only the Bono East region, but some parts of the north, as well as some parts of Burkina Faso take their referrals to the Holy Family Hospital here. And because of that, it places a lot of strain on the facilities here. And aside that, there's a limited space for the facilities here is limited, and there's a limited space. So the committee realized that they are supposed to JoJo, and as a matter of urgency, expand the space for them so that some infrastructures or some buildings can be done to make sure their services will be free to be able to deliver their services to the people, as well as equipment. There's a shortage in equipment here. Some of the equipment are monitors, issues of monitors, as well as issues of mammograms for cancer units, for treatment of cancer. And some of these basic equipment are very essential. And without them, delivery of healthcare becomes a problem. So they have notified this issue, and as a matter of urgency, they are going to put it before Parliament and look at ways and means they can come to their aid and make sure these issues are being solved for them. And also, the one issue they also put across the committee is that they have limited staffing. Their staff here is limited, and so they are not able to deliver their services as they should. And this also, the committee assured them that they are going to put before Parliament, and as a matter of urgency, they are going to put in place measures to be able to employ new staff into the facility to make sure they can be able to deliver their services.
Belinda, aside from this very facility that you're giving us details of, do you know how many other health facilities the committee is expected to visit today?
Yes, so the committee is from the Savannah region and is currently traveling the Bono East region. It will go to the Bono region where it will tour the Sunan Teaching Hospital. And after that, they will go to Goso where they will tour the regional hospital in Ahafo. And so after here, it is a 7-member committee, and it's being led by Honorable Sebastian Sanjari and the other 3 Honorable Emmanuel Kotibuam and Professor Saito Senio. And they are going to tour aside the Holy Family Hospital. They'll be touring the Sunan Teaching Hospital as well as Goso Teaching Hospital.
Thank you so much, Belinda Tete. She is a Bono East regional correspondent. Some 11 minutes past the hour of 12. This is still the Midday News on 3FM and 92.7. When we come back, we'll tell you more about the freezing of accounts of Chairman Wontumi. Don't go away.
Ghana, it's a new year and Bill's Microcredit is here to support your dreams. If you're not working but want to start a business, don't let money stop you. With just your Ghana card, you can get a loan to turn your ideas into reality. Already running a business? Need more capital? Or are you a salary worker looking for extra funds? Bill's offers fast and easy loans with no collateral, no deposit, and no SUSI savings required. Wherever you are, whatever you need, Bill's makes it happen. Call Bill's Microcredit today. Call 0596 920 833 or 0302 200 390 and get started. Bill's is licensed and regulated by the Bank of Ghana. Bill's, financing your needs. Terms and conditions apply.
And you're still here on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. Thank you so much for staying. 12 minutes past 12. Let's return to our first story about that strike by the doctors at the Tamale Teaching Hospital, the suspension of services given to patients. And Christopher Amakon is a man in that part of the country. He joins us live on the line. Chris, just first of all, tell us how the strike by these doctors is affecting healthcare service delivery so far.
Yes, so I must admit that Beatrice, the situation is actually impacting negatively, especially on patients and patient relatives. Those who have come to the hospital today in the morning until now, most of them have been turned away, and others that the other service providers could attend to, they have been attending to them. And for those who were turned away, they have been telling me that they feel frustrated by the whole issue because already there is a challenge of consumables and equipment at the hospital that they are battling with. And for the doctors to also embark on a strike that is suspending most of their services, then it means that it is actually going to affect them greatly. Those who came were referred to other health facilities like the SDA hospital and other hospitals within the catchment area. And I must say that it hasn't been easy for them because you bring a patient facility in a tricycle, in a car, then you move the person to the OPD, then you are told to go back, then it's really, really frustrating for them. And they have been appealing to the doctors to, as it were, reconsider their decision and get back to post.
I mean, this sounds like a double agony for them. No equipment, and now the doctors have had to even suspend their services to them with the little that they initially had. But how are people generally reacting to what has transpired so far? The altercation leading to the sacking of the CEO, and now the doctors deciding to embark on a strike.
So there have been mixed reactions to this because whereas one group of the public believe that what happened at the hospital was in itself a means of correcting the wrongs, especially when it comes to attitude of staff, when it comes to how staff attend to patients when they come to the hospital. One school of thought has it that this has exposed the attitude of workers here to the general public and the authorities that be. The other school of thought also say that the incident that happened will give room for the authorities to really know what challenges the hospital is faced with and come in with the necessary support, especially so when the health minister this morning has presented some medical equipment and other consumables to the hospital. They believe that had it not been for the incident that happened that exposed the situation of the hospital, this wouldn't have happened. They are also saying that the management of the hospital there should be an overhaul of the entire management of the hospital, not just the CEO, because the CEO does not work in isolation. The CEO works with other directors. And so once the challenges prevail at the hospital, it's not the making of the CEO, but all the other directors who have been working with the CEO to and getting the hospital to this extent must all be changed before the hospital can come back to its normal working again.
Thank you so much, Christopher Marco, for bringing us the latest from there. Now, the Financial Intelligence Center has frozen all bank accounts linked to Bernard Enchibuesiakon, widely known as Chairman Wontumi, and his mining company Akunta Mining, amid allegations of financial irregularities. According to 3 news sources at the FIC, the freeze was initiated under Section 561 of the Anti-Money Laundering Act 2020, Act 1044, which authorizes the FIC to restrict access to accounts where there is reasonable suspicion of illicit financial management. Now, in a formal directive issued to financial institutions, the FIC also instructed that all transactions involving Chairman Wontumi, Akunta Mining, and Hallmark Civil Engineering Limited be immediately halted, quote, pending further directives, unquote. The move is part of a broader investigation into suspected money laundering and related financial misconduct. Chairman Wontumi, the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the new Patriot Party, has come under mounting public scrutiny. His mining company, Akunta Mining, has been at the center of controversy following a directive by the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources to revoke its operating license. Now, the Financial Intelligence Center has also formally requested detailed financial records from McDan Group as part of an ongoing money laundering investigation. In a confidential letter dated April 22, 2025, addressed to the managing director of McDan Group, the FIC stated that it is acting under the Anti-Laundering Money Laundering Act 2020, Act 1044, following intelligence indicating the company engaged in large-scale money transfers to and from various entities between January 2020 and December 2024. The request, made under Section 36 and 37 of Act 1044, empowers the FIC to demand financial records when investigating suspected financial crimes. Specifically, the center has asked McDan Group to provide: first, all electronic fund transfers conducted between January 1, 2020 and December 31, 2024. Copies of checks issued to third parties during the same period. Details of financial institutions used for these transactions. Now, the investigation marks the latest in a series of high-profile financial probes led by the FIC under its current leadership. The center has ramped up efforts to combat potential financial misconduct, with McDan Group now among the growing list of businesses and individuals under scrutiny. Let's speak to Darrell Bosu, Deputy Director of Operations at Arusha, Ghana. Good afternoon to you, sir. Good to have you this afternoon.
Good afternoon, Beatrice.
Accounts of Akunta Mining and Chairman Wontumi frozen. They are being investigated in connection with suspected illegal mining operations. First, does it come to you as a surprise?
I think that this, for us, marks an era where we see the government utilizing all the various institutions and legal instruments in favor or in dealing with galamsey. we have for a long time had on our statutes, even law that is saying that if you are found to be financing galamsey activities, providing equipment and all of that, as the Minerals and Mining Act 995, you are culpable and the law will deal with you. So if the law has established, and as the Minerals Commission recently published that Akonta Mining was engaging in illegal activity with regards to the fact that they had no legal leases, then it's in order that this is being done. So for us, it is great. It is great news. I hope it is not an issue of just politically going after the company, but really going to use this to start really going after the big wigs who have been financing illegal activities across the country for a long time. And this, for us, is great news. We want to see how this goes and also how this is applied fully to other cases, also in relation to illegal mining across the country. So this is definitely, for me, quite refreshing to hear that the government is ready to go full haul in dealing with this matter.
You think that this is the government showing that it's ready to go the full haul? You've already described this action as great, but would you say that this is enough?
Well, you see, the fight against galamsey has got several phases, and it is good that we are taking the aspect of illicit financial transaction, which has also been one of the biggest issues related to the galamsey menace, because there's a lot of financing going on. We don't know whether this is money that is landed or whatever, and we don't even know when people get the money, where does the money go? It goes to feed or support other investments and all of that. So there is really the need to get into the bottom of it. And for me, I think that this is how it must be done. It shouldn't only be an issue of the police making an arrest and prosecuting somebody. We need to also go after the finances, and it's been activated right now. We need to use intelligence on the ground to even identify who is getting the excavators to the ground, which police officer is allowing the illegal activity to continue. All of this is very, very important. Then there's the aspect of the regulation as well. Who is monitoring who is on the ground, whether doing the right thing or not. Then there's the aspect of the licenses. Who is issuing the licenses? Is there sufficient due diligence? So there are several aspects of this issue that must be tackled together to ensure that we can win. So for me, this is a critical aspect of the galamsey fight that we have to deal with. And we are happy to see that the government is ready to deal with it as they have started. What we need to see is that it is consistent, it is persistent, and follows through with every other case of the same nature and manner when it comes up, rather than just only target a particular individual. So let's use this as a template and as a model to address all the issues of illicit financial transactions within the illegal mining value chain, as we have seen it over the years.
Mr. Bosu, thank you so much for speaking to us.
As a president.
And you had there Daraboso, he's a Deputy Director of Operations at Arusha, Ghana. The Ghana Bar Association, GBA, has called on all parties in the ongoing process for the removal of the Chief Justice, Gertrude Torkornoo, to act with discretion and integrity. It warned that the independence and image of the judiciary must be protected at all costs. A statement co-signed by its National President, Efua Gate, and National Secretary, Kwekuja Obafo, the GBA said, although expressing deep concern about the development, stressed the importance of constitutional adherence and judicial independence. The association also emphasized that while recognizing the constitutionally mandated procedures and mindful of the fact that the matter is currently sub judice, the GBA called on all actors to be guided by the time-tested tenets of the rule of law. The association has meanwhile pledged to continue its role as the conscience of society and a defender of the justice system while acting in the interest of the Constitution and the people of Ghana. President John Mahama has set up a 5-member committee, remember, to handle the inquiry after a prima facie determination was made against the Chief Justice, Gertrude Torkornoo. Let's get a quick reaction from Xavier Kuja. He speaks for the Ghana Bar Association. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity. Mr.
Kuja, your critics say that your statement is coming in late in the day. Do you have any response to that?
I don't think it's as late. We came in at this time for a purpose because we've observed that instead of all of us keeping calm for the process to be followed through, political actors have taken it upon themselves to be running all kinds of commentary. Yesterday, I listened to two people on a sister station of yours, Accra based, and it wasn't too good. So all we're saying is that we should allow the process to follow through, and those involved along the line in handling all these issues, you also have at the back of their mind the laws of this country and how things are supposed to be properly done. If at the end of the day anybody feels aggrieved, the courts are there because the committee decision is subject to the jurisdiction of the court. Just as even as the process hasn't concluded, some well-meaning Ghanaians have thought it wise to file two suits at the Supreme Court. So that is what we're saying. So I don't think that it is late. That is why we said we've been monitoring closely what has been happening, because we think that it is now rather being handled as a political issue rather than a legal issue.
Why do you say it's being handled as a political issue, especially when you admitted in your statements that Article 146, the 6, the 7, 8, 9, and even 10 are being followed as they should, per what the Constitution prescribes?
Yeah, the reason I say it's being handled as a political issue is that the two political parties, the major two political parties have taken it upon themselves as if the issue being dealt with is a political matter other than a legal matter. That is what we're saying. Because I think the one political party has even served notice they will be going on a process just because a process is being followed through. What we're saying is that everybody should keep calm. We should all restrain ourselves from all the conclusions and the commentaries that we are passing. So that at the end of the day, as I said earlier, the decision of the committee will determine the outcome of all these processes. Then anybody who is aggrieved, the courts are there because the committee has its decision subject to the jurisdiction of the court.
I'm aware that, for instance, the MP for Tafo, Vincent Kwasafwa, has filed right now at the Supreme Court an interlocutory injunction against this whole process. I'm aware of that. But is the GBA not behaving like ostriches if you want to say that you think it is being handled politically? Because remember, when the former president received such petitions and he dismissed it, there were the same reactions as well.
Yes, you said he dismissed it. It means he concluded the process. But what we're saying is this is an ongoing process. It hasn't been concluded. The committee has just been set up. The 5-member committee has just been set up. They are yet to go into the merits of the petition. How then do people have arrived at conclusions and have been condemning the process? That is the concern we have. So we say everybody should keep calm. We should be restrained and wait for the outcome. At the end of the day, once it is officially in the public domain, the outcome of the investigation is officially in the public domain, we can run out the commentary and condemn whatever we want to condemn. Those who want to go to court and challenge the whole process, including the outcome, will have the opportunity to do that. The
import of my question is that the issue has been political from even when the former president was there. So is the GBA not claiming, or feigning ignorance that you don't know that this is really like a political case as much as it is legal?
No, you see, I'm speaking as a lawyer. The fact that there might be snippets of sections of the petition and what have you in the public domain on social media doesn't mean that it's official. I will not comment on that. But what we're saying is that, yes, people may think it's political, but does that warrant the kind of commentary and conclusions that we are drawing while the process is still ongoing? That is the concern.
So your concern is the prejudicial, quote-unquote, statement from individuals.
So. Because there will be an opportunity to do all this at the end of the day if conclusions are drawn by the committee, even to the extent of going to court.
Just to wrap up our conversation, based on what you've monitored so far, would you say that the people involved have behaved themselves as you expect them to per the statement you issued?
I would not be judgmental, so I wouldn't pass any comment until the process is concluded. If not, I'll be following to the same pit as the people I'm complaining about.
We'll have to end it here with you. Thank you very much, Xavier Kujo. He speaks for the Ghana Bar Association, giving us his thought regarding what the association thinks of the ongoing process. And that's it for the news here on 3FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice Edu. Thank you very much for joining us today. Log on to 3news.com for more news. Good afternoon.
busy on this frequency. 92.7 3 FM.
Accra, Ghana, Africa, and worldwide. Join us on Inspirational Gospel Mix this and every Sunday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Get ready for the revolution. What you say now?
I just wanna praise you.
3 FM.
King of kings and Lord of lords, lover of my soul, Jehovah, one and only God. I am Jesus Christ, the Holy Lamb. Come for you are. Come for you are. Come for you are.
What is your favorite scripture?
Well, my favorite scripture is Romans 8:28, and it says, all things work together for the good to them that love the Lord. Kwame, that is absolutely my favorite scripture.
Yes, your Inspirational Gospel Mix, a moment to get inspired with the best of inspirational songs and interviews to get you prepared for the new week. Every Sunday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. with me, your big brother, Kwame Adu, mixing G, mixing gospel. You can't miss it. You are blessed as you listen. 3 FM 92.7.
Accra gets busy on this frequency. 92.7 3 FM. Accra gets busy on this frequency. 92.7 3 FM.